It's like, well, I'll get to it. Now it's like, okay.
Yes. Yeah, every bookshelf in my house, yes. They're all
over onto other people's bookshelves. And
Hey, Simbi, thank you so much for calling.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. It's been so fantastic.
Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right, you too. Bye.
877-929-9673. Sarah Zock grew up in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and later she moved to Iowa with her husband. And she called to tell us this story. They were on their way to the movies, and they suddenly realized they had no cash. So her husband sends her running to a local grocery store to get some money. She says, I ran in and the service desk was right there. I looked at the boy behind the counter and I said, quick, where's your time machine? And he looked at me and literally said, what year are you going to? And Grant, you of course know the misunderstanding there because in Florida, Wisconsin, and part of Michigan, time machines are ATMs.
Right, that's their generic for ATM machine.
Right. It's spelled TYME. Stands for Take Your Money Everywhere.
And I realize ATM machine is redundant, but join me in saying ATM machine.
ATM machine. 877-929-9673.
Hello, you have a way with words.
Hi, this is David from Plainfield, Indiana, and I have a regional dialect word for you from where I grew up in Massachusetts.
Okay.
And a great story to go with it.
Yes, please.
I was looking at colleges, and I flew in to do a little tour of the college in Evansville, Indiana, way down in the southwest corner.
Mm-hmm.
And the first morning there, we went to breakfast, and then we go start on our tour. And there's people from all around the nation. There's people from Texas, Oklahoma, a few from Indiana. I think we even had one from, like, Washington State or something. And in the middle of the tour, we enter another building, and I'm thirsty. So I said, hey, where's the bubbler? And I get, like, 11 looks of, huh? I'm like, the bubbler. And they're like, what's a bubbler? I said, it's in front of the bathroom. You get a creep from it. It's the water fountain. And they're like, oh, yeah, it's over there. Why didn't you say that? And I was like, I did say that. And a few years later at college, I got one of those things came up and said, take this 10-question survey and we can tell you where you're from. And I was like, yeah, right. So I take it, and it comes back and says, you are from this little section of Massachusetts, this small section of southern Maine, or this small section of Minnesota, because you use the word bubbler. And I went, really? Like, nobody knows what this is? I mean, is it really that regional a word that it's like these 3 or 4 small places in the U.S. are the only ones that really use it?
Well, that's a good question. They're different places. I mean, I'm sure that dialect quiz narrowed down your location because of some other things that you said besides bubbler, because where you hear bubbler, actually, for water fountain, is southern and eastern Wisconsin. All our Wisconsin listeners are going, yeah. And in Massachusetts. What part of Massachusetts are you from?
Central. I'm from Shrewsbury, Massachusetts. It's the first town east of Worcester.
All right.
And like everybody back in Massachusetts used it that I do. Everybody in Worcester and Massachusetts and Shrewsbury would know if you said, yeah, where's the bubbler? They'd go, oh, yeah, over there.
Right. So Wisconsin, parts of Wisconsin, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island do refer to a water fountain as a bubbler. And I'll tell you, David, that when we were, Grant and I did a couple of appearances in Wisconsin recently, a few months ago, and we appeared in Milwaukee and Madison. And when we were in Madison, folks gave us some T-shirts from the Wisconsin Historical Society. On the front, it says, it's a bubbler, and it's got a picture of a water fountain. And on the back, it's got a picture of a fountain. It says, fountains are where you throw coins.
Oh, my God.
And good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Bob. Here I am, by the window, drinking coffee. So are you ready to die? You're not ready to die. You're not ready to live. That's what Buddha said. You're always going to be scared. And that's the world we live in. Everyone's scared, right? Except for the few cockroaches at the top. And guys like Bill Gates and Elon Musk and Donald Trump and Joe Biden, they're just middle management. They're not even at the top. They're not even the top 20. Right? They're poster boys, people that can be blamed. That in history they'll be pointed at as the losers, right? And what you have to do in your life is not be swayed by any of that materialism, right? All this is it's an illusion, right? You know, and our canary in the social coal mine is a perfect example. Do you want to be like that guy? You know, his last scene, it's everything he does, I think, is just stupendous. Because he truly gets the gestalt of what's going on in humanity, right? And so I think that's one of the more interesting things. So he's more truthful than pretty much anybody else. Mhm. I wish he would leave his stuff up. I wish I could. I mean, he's just look at those breasts. I think they're better than Lady Gaga's. You know. God will defeat your enemies.
The time has come. Things will no longer be simple. This edict identifies Jesus of Nazareth as a heretic and a blasphemer. We are knife's edge of history. Senior leaders should question and expose Jesus. I am the life that overcomes death.
Oh, enough of that boy. I mean, go and just check him out because he, like I said, he is the perfect embodiment of people scared to live, right? And yet there's a thing inside of him that's screaming to get out, right? And all that's going on around us is like is the problem of life, right? Are you ready to live it? What are you going to do? You know? Is your life always about you? Our lives aren't about ourselves. It's the we and me. Why do we get married? Why do we have children? So we can expand. It's not so we can control someone else's life. It's so we can basically live a life that we can share with people we love. And the thing is that you should love everyone you come in contact with. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. We've been on the air. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's Jamie saying something. Where are my glasses? Yoo-hoo, glasses. Where did you go?
Research teams have reported in sites into what is
Nope. I had him somewhere. Let's see. Maybe put you there. Nope. Oh, maybe. Here we go. Here's a brave man, ready to have a conversation. Yes, here we got this. I've been ready all my life since fear of death. That happened about 20 years old. Right? Fear left when I realized who Mayor Baba is. Right, Mayor Baba is a great avatar on this planet. Right, looking real well, Al. You are in great form. Thank you. And so, Mayor Baba, Jamie, think of this. Construct or compare John Birmingham to Mayor Baba, right? Did you see John's? I don't know how many shows ago I was saying, John, you trying to bleach yourself out. Because he's really uptight about being Italian, right? He shaves his body so his dark hair doesn't show up. He bleaches his hair and his eyebrows so his dark hair, right? He says, I'm not, so I'm not like Michael Jackson. So bango, he was like Michael Jackson. And that was great. But I want your insight onto comparing Mayor Baba to John Birmingham. So you have to tell the audience who Mayor Baba is, when he was born, what he said to the general public, and how he stepped in, right? And then compare it to John, right? Okay. Actually, firstly, it was Jesus, then Krishna, then realized Baba is the same ancient. Of course, ancient one again and again and again, right? Love for Jesus. John is fine. But that's not so much what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Mayor Baba. See, so when we find an avatar such as Buddha, Mayor Baba, Jesus, and there's tons of other, and what it is that they are incarnating that Jesus spirit, right? And so I've been reading the Bible now for the last 2 years since I've hooked up with all the churchy people, and because they gave me a great Bible and a great, this really great Bible. I have a really big print Bible, which I don't even need glasses to read. And then a Accordion, which is this other Bible that connects everything to everything else. If you're reading this, read that and see how that connects with this. And then this is what was happening during this period of time and all of that kind of stuff. Born, stayed mostly his life, except for rare appearances, right? Incognito, right? So, but he was always conscious. See, that's the really interesting thing. What is consciousness? Jamie, what is consciousness? And it doesn't, and does it or doesn't it reside in your brain, right? Because back in the day, when I was, part of all these esoteric entities between 1967 and 1987, for 20 years, like Theosophical Society, the Thule Society, the ISIS Institute, the BBI, the SSU, all these very strange entities. And the SSU is very strategic services unit, right? And that was, who started that? Benjamin Franklin. And the person who took it into the 20th century was J. Edgar Hoover. Before he started the FBI was just a cover, right? A gaslight for the SSU. So, of all of the writings of Mayor Baba, what would be the most influential for an individual to read, would you say, Jamie? And how did it affect you? How did it, you said you were fearful until you came in contact with the avatar, Mayor Baba, right? I first came into contact with Mayor Baba in 1967, I guess. And I was trying. I guess my esoteric thing goes way back when I was 10, so that was 1960. So I've been a fellow traveler since I was 10. Right? When I really, really died, and I remember dying, and I experienced dying, and then I came back, and it was like I was in a hospital, Catholic hospital, and the nuns freaking murdered me once again. It was unbelievable. I said, if you love Jesus, forget about Mayor Baba. Focus on love that teaches only one appearance of ancient. Don't diffuse your attention on many. Right. He's the same ancient. Exactly. Now, a lot of people have a hard time with that, along with the Trinity, Father, Son, Holy Ghost. They anthropomorphize everything. And that's the real problem, is that we anthropomorphize everything. No. It has to be that internal connection of consciousness, of love consciousness. Constantly say that, God is love's co-creation, right? And that's not me saying it, it's Mayor Baba saying it, Jesus saying it, Buddha saying it. All those same characters, right? Now, I don't put myself in that category. I'm, more like, Joe, right? Right. So you die more than once. You've got it. Come back. I mean, most people, they die once, and it affects them for the rest of their life. But they still haven't got it. Then they die again if they're lucky and come back. And then the third time's the charm. It took me 7 times actually. But when I ran into Mayor Baba was in 1967. I was a journeyman in the IBEW, the Electrical Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, working on the World Trade Center. And summer rolled around, and the IBEW, like many unions that were born of the labor movement between 1890s and 1930s or 40s, they had a very strong social compunction. The Union Hall that was in the 30s on 8th Avenue wasn't just a place you waited around to get a job. It was a place that if you were hungry, you get a meal. Your kids needed food, right? They could get a meal. They needed health care, they could get a meal. This was before insurance, right? And so the IBEW had a lot of great social entities, and one of them was the Boys Vacation Fund, Girls Athletic League, right? And they had all kinds of ball fields and fields that kids could play on. They had their own parks. The thing that the city took over was a good number of these union facilities, especially over there in Brooklyn, where the big natural gardens are. Right next to it is this beautiful park that has big Olympic swimming pool, big gyms, and all kinds of stuff. And I don't know if the union still pays for it, but it was the union that got the property, built the buildings, ran the programs, and then the city kind of, through the CCC, kind of took it over politically, right? So anyway, I worked through that thing. And I didn't have to, but I was trying to do as many of those kind of things because I liked it, because pretty much the only people who were in those things were girls, women, right? And I'd go in there, I'd be in a room of about 20 good-looking ladies, and I'd be the only guy, or the 2 guys, right? And the other thing I was doing, I was trying to build a thing of showing that I was socially conscious and not really ready to kill people, right? And it worked, my draft board said, we don't trust you with a gun. So anyway, I was working at this camp, and it was right when, in 68, December 68, when all the Martin Luther got killed, John got killed, and the cities were burning. So they tried to get as many kids out. So instead of handling about 4,000 kids a summer, they handled close to 60,000. So they just sprung camps up all over the place. And I was sent around to, I was an electrician, I was a builder, I was this, so we went over to where West Point is, and they had all these camps that had been used in World War I and World War II that were not being used. And so we cleaned them up and got them working and got kids in there. And the guy who was the camp director was like, he was like maybe 6 years older than me, and he was just, and he had never had, he was just a senior camper the year before, but they made him a director anyway, so he had not a clue, right? Because all he talked about is, you find the boys masturbating, what do you do? Anyway, so it was like, and because the rest of us were all guys like me trying to not get drafted. And so, and they were a little older than me. So it was like, and so they sent us the oldest boys first, 16-year-olds. And these guys had weapons. And there were like 300 of them and 16 of us. And they just ran us out of the camp and they burnt the place down. And we were down in the Peter Pan Diner along Route 17 and the highway patrol there, and they were laughing. They thought we were, what are you boys doing here? Why'd you up there to camp? Because most of us had long hair. I was still in prep school, so I didn't quite have real long hair. But these other guys, anyway. So we went up there, and there was one guy who had some street smarts, Eddie, and he was Palestinian from Chicago, and he basically. We went up there, and he took them, and he was the only guy of color, right? So he said, okay, this is what's going to happen. We understand you're angry and you're upset, but here you are out in this beautiful place. You want to go back to the city? These cops are ready. The buses are coming. These guys are ready to put you on a bus, right? And then we'll just be here, the 16 of us, going in the lake, swimming. You girl camp across the lake. We'll just go talk to those girls. Or this can be your camp. We won't tell you what to do, right? So, thank you. And so that worked very nicely, right? And so, so anyway, that's how all of that worked. And so, they didn't think any of us could be a director. So they basically put us, so we were running it and we were letting the kids run it, right? So about a week after, these two guys showed up, and they were two smooth, long-haired dudes, and they each had Mayor Baba around their neck, right? They had this little picture, and these guys were cool, right? I mean, they were really unbelievably cool, and they had been dealing with camps. They were camp guys, right? And so they saw what we had done with the place, and they said, "This is a great idea. We're just here to represent the home office," right? Anyway, so we had what was known as the, hey, miss, that's for you.
Thank you so much, hon. I appreciate it.
So have you ever been to Madison on New York City?
I haven't, but I really want to.
Madison Avenue is one of the greatest avenues because it's the only one, I haven't been there since forever, but
Yeah.
it was what the Dutch founded New York City.
Yeah.
Madison Avenue is the only part of the Dutch that was left.
Interesting.
So they didn't have like 90-story buildings.
Yeah.
They had like 3- and 4-story buildings that were all like, because New York is New Amsterdam.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And that was Madison
That
Avenue.
is so cool. I planned a trip to go right before COVID hit, and it shut everything down.
Right.
And I haven't been able to get back, and I.
Do you have any friends there?
I don't know.
Because that's the really only way to
No,
go.
exactly. I was about to say, I know. I just need to go up there and make some freaking friends at this point.
Right. One of the, I don't know if they had it anymore. They helped put together a thing called Occupy Movement,
Yeah.
and it started in New York City, right across the street from the World Trade Center. And so that was a great time for a person like you to go to New York.
Yeah.
It was this little town all by itself. That was a park.
Yeah.
It was like, Wall Street was here, and all these money things.
Yeah. We're around there.
Right, and all these people who like made it a community.
Oh my gosh, I love
Right,
that.
so it was nice for
Right,
a
like that is so
It
cool.
was nice for a year, and that was the best one. The other ones, people got a bit too full of themselves. But these guys were great. They had food, healthcare, place to sleep. They took care of everybody.
It's so
They had a
interesting, yeah.
library.
And their own little like community in this place. I love
The
it.
change was there to be an example to change the world, and it didn't
Yeah.
quite work. But it was great for a year.
Exactly. For a little bit, it's fine.
And so, for a person like you, that would
that would
have
have
been
been perfect.
because you would have been safe.
Literally
And then all these people would show you stuff around.
Exactly. I know. I just need to get some friends together and be like, all right, look.
Yeah,
this
get
is,
a crew.
This is what
Get
we're
a
doing.
crew. Get
exactly.
a crew. You got to get a crew.
Right. Thank you, sir.
So before you go, let's
Yes,
see your
please.
palm, the hand you write with. Which is the hand you write with?
This is the hand that I write
Put it
with.
up like that. Well, you're an interesting girl. You're really close to vets. You never spill the beans. You never do anything the same way twice.
Yeah, I really don't.
You're very much a lot of deja vu, vivid
Oh,
dreams up
yeah.
the kazoo. So the deja vu is God talking to you because your mountains of prosperity are great. You just ignore them.
Good to know.
It's like there's $100 bill always under your foot, but you don't notice it.
But you'd have to look
Let's see
around
this side
and
here.
see it.
Oh, you got what is known as common sense. That's a lot better than book smarts. You have a lot of empathy. You're really good at getting a job done. You're just getting over it being a worrywart.
Yes. Yes, I am. I have anxiety out of the ass right now.
But you're realizing you got to get rid of it.
And yes, I'm actively right now like working through that and pushing through it in myself.
There's a great radio show at ETSU. It's also online. It's called what's it called? Alternative Dimensions or New Dimensions.
New dimensions?
Right.
Okay.
And go look on their site. There's a alternative
Yeah.
spiritual kind of thing,
Interesting.
and they've been doing it for 40 years.
Yeah.
We got every kind of psychologist, every kind of spiritualist, every kind of you name it, and it's all broken up. You can take that, listen to that
So
show.
it's called New Dimensions? Perfect.
NewDimensions.org.
Perfect. I'm gonna look that up.
Yep,
Thank
yep.
you so much.
And that will help you. That
Yeah.
and breathing. You need to breathe.
God, I know. I need to stop. And
Breathe. So what did you just do there?
I breathe.
Like why? Because you were conscious.
Because I was consciously thinking
So you
about
stop
it.
thinking about the crap you worry about.
Mhm. Let me tell you, this guy, it never stops.
But see, nobody does. And so people, I used to teach meditation to
Yeah.
drug addicts, right?
Yeah.
And criminals, right? They forget those. They couldn't do it.
Exactly.
And they said, "Why keep quiet?" I said, "No, guys. The thing is, stuff's supposed to come up so you can then push it out of the way.
I never looked at it.
You
like
know how
that.
your phone, all that crap comes up, and you just keep doing this.
Yeah, you keep swiping it off.
That's what you do.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, hon. I'd like to say, my name is Madison. Please come back and see me anytime.
Oh, you know the other thing here. I have an interesting YouTube you might find, and that's my
Thank you so much.
my curriculum vitae in a business card.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Yep.
But so you sit here for as long as you need to,
Yep.
hon.
Just keep an eye on my coffee. I could
Perfect.
get a
I'll
little
bring some
more.
more out for you in
Yep,
a little
yep.
bit, hon.
So that's how I met. That's just what I did right there. It was a Mayor Baba moment. Yep. What can I say about love, God? I experienced a shadow of a Baba. ocean which is almost overwhelming. And the overwhelming thing is the understanding that, just like I said to that young lady, that all that stuff is irrelevant. Love is all that happens, right? That's all you got to do is love your neighbor as yourself, right? And the only God there is love's co-creation, right? And you can call it give it any name, Mayor, Baba, Jesus, Buddha, whatever name you want to give it. It's fine. It doesn't matter. So the three of you there. So Jamie, you still there? Got any comments? Let's see. Move that up a little bit. So the crowd has sauntered out. And so John, why do you even talk about John? Why does John, blah, blah, blah. She's a beautiful soul. You can hear her love. Yep, exactly. Why do you think? I don't talk to anybody who is, she's totally she's got a lot of things on her mind. And meaning I can, if I need to, look right into her and see all the problems, right? But usually that freaks people out. Right? And with the love of God, love of Buddha, love of Mayor Baba, you basically so Mayor Baba, what is that really? That's a name. What's it mean? My father or Papa or Dad, that's Mayor Baba. And Mayor is mom, so it's mom and dad, right? As one, right? And everyone has their own little opinion on what's going on. And it's just not that. Now, you can have an opinion and you can voice opinion, and that's a good place to start a conversation, right? So there's three of you out there. Let's start a conversation. That's what this is supposed to be, right? Conversation. That's why they call it a live chat, right? So, what else? What time is it? Yeah. How much juice do I have left? About 20 minutes. Oh boy, my hate and anger, truly incredible love, can do anything. Yep. Even heal Jamie. That's her right. Even heal you. Right? Look at our friend, in New Zealand, who is, there were so many character actors that were, look, the other two people have run away. And when I first started off, I used to have a lot of trolls, and people go, "Oh, let me be the administrator. I'll get rid of blah." I said, "No. I'm just gonna accept whoever shows up, right?" And we gave them so much love that it healed them, right? They stopped being these compassionate fathers. Right? Compassion is like the female emotion, right? So the material world, that why I come here is that A, they have pretty good Wi-Fi. B, they have interesting people who work here, and their food I can depend on. This is like McDonald's, much better. It's a better version of McDonald's, but still it's a corporate thing. It still has that whole psycho drama, propagandistic, because all this, corporate everything is propaganda. Live chat, we love it. Yep. Live chat with the beloved. Yep. And so to like, in rainbow gatherings, people would always go, "Oh, I hate Babylon. It's out there. I hate." And little they know, they're bringing Babylon right in that gathering by hating Babylon. You want to get rid of Babylon? Love Babylon, right? Just don't live in Babylon, right? And so there's nothing. So eating this meal, it's a tasty. It's totally, made in a laboratory to like hit every button you got. And so this mocha coffee is like to die for, But so if I have this twice a month, there's nothing wrong with that, right? If I'm in the neighborhood and the parking lot isn't blocked up, and I can go like, there's nobody waiting online. I just pull in. There's the parking spot waiting for me. I kind of walk in, the lady's right there. Oh, let me take you to your seat. Then, some nice white person talks to me, and I do what I just did with that young lady, right? So, so somebody came back. Somebody got brave. Yep. So I go out and about, I have errands to do, get this, get that. And I don't need to, right? I have this I had so much stuff, right? And when I died, I got rid of it all. But it was like the stuff just kept, I left 3/4 of my stuff still at the school with John Bar. And John holds on to that crap like it's a religious icon, right? And so I have, I was an artist, so I had a studio. I was a contractor, a general contractor and an electrical contractor. So I had, all the tools and accoutrement that goes with that. Then I was a scholar. I was an itinerant scholar inside a library. I had all kinds of other stuff. And I had my tool sets and all the above, right? So, so anyway, a man just walked in with military gear, and he's carrying his Glock, and he has a weapon in his sock, and he's wearing fruity shoes, right? So it's not like a uniform. And he's about 40 pounds overweight. Yep, deep 11 memories, right? And I'm still there on the edge to help the boy out. Like I help everyone, right? That's what I'm here to do. But one of the things that I learned when I died in 2014 is that, I can physically fix everything, right? When I'm not supposed to, right? Just because I fix it, when I fix something, it stays fixed. But in the corporate structure, I would do that because they were desperate, so I would fix it. And then they'd realize that it's fixed. And they couldn't run that into the ground, so they had to find a whole new avenue to drive it into the ground. So it's an interesting motif. So with that, I really learned that I'm just here to be here, right? And in the moment, I can say and do and help people out. And I have my 3 guardrails. Everyone needs a guardrail. However many they need. And my 3 are: doctor, do no harm. Piss Lord. You're Lord of Piss, eh? You know what they say, if it's yellow, let it mellow. So, doctor do no harm, right? So I visualize what I'm about to do. If it's going to do any harm, I try to navigate that, right? Next one is do not get involved unless you're only going in to get the innocent out of harm's way and you have a workable exit strategy. I mean, you can go in there to get the innocent out of the way. If you don't have a workable exit strategy, everyone dies. That's not a good idea to go in there. If you just leave the innocent in there and you don't get them all killed, it might be better just to leave them in there, right? The third one is don't get involved unless you go in to learn something that will make things better. Not fix it, make it better, right? And that I'm learning something, right, to make it better. So those are my three. And so I look for what PL. What are your guardrails as you go through life? Right here, Abba is generous, with beloved, grinds down. Yeah, your ego, that's for sure. Tiger consumes hearts. Yep, exactly. So I have a lot of different animal avatars, and one is a panther. Up in the Deep Creek where I lived back in the day, when there weren't any white people and there were just indigenous folk. There were a lot of animals that aren't there now, and in the ones that are there, they're kind of. So they had bobcats and they had panthers up there in the Appalachian Mountains, near the Blue Ridge, where I live in the accordion of the Sawtooth Mountain Range. And so there is one black panther that and only shows up, So I go out on my porch on my deck. I have a beautiful deck. It has an amazing view. It's like being in the arms of love out there, right? And I sit in my wheelchair that is left over from between 2014 and 2016. I couldn't walk. I was rolling around at school in a wheelchair. Right? I had to drag myself on the wheelchair into my Kia. Anyway, so I'll be up there reading or writing, and I will. I often can nap there because it's just so bucolic and sweet. And so and often I'll wake up and I'll feel a presence and I'll just look over and there is the Black Panther asleep. Not quite at my feet, but right there, right? And when I look at it, it like wakes up and it doesn't it kind of just wakes up and looks up at me and smiles. And then I'll look for like a pair of glasses or pen or something, and it'll be gone. I don't hear it leave. I don't see it leave. It doesn't run away. It's just when I look back a second later, it's gone. Right? And there's a bobcat, which is not quite as big, and it is more physical. It does physical things. It likes to play with stuff. It's like a cat. I mean, panther is a panther. It's not quite. It's a cat, but the bobcat actually likes to take. So I'll wake up sleeping, or I'll be there, and it'll just kind of show up and lie in the sun, right? And then I'll read a book. You'll be reading my book or writing something, and it will be that. I started hearing it like knocking the silverware off the table or something. My spirit guides have been cougars, blue jays, stork, and swallows, nations known, divine, and sometimes. Yep. So where I'm at is very much a bird sanctuary. Because I'm in this, it was the Gookie holler of mud, the mud apocalypse, and I kind of cut all the trees out so the sun could hit it, put a lot of French drains, and put two nice drainage ditches on either side. So we just, had since March, we've had 200 inches of rain. And every time we'd have a gully washer down the end of my road, not a drip of mud, in my collar, not it would be moist, but there'd not even be a puddle. Right? So back when it was mud apocalypse land, it was mosquito, forget about it, right? And now they're still there, but they don't like the sun. So I just, every time I see standing water, I knock it over. But the birds, they are great. And I also have bats. And they, I'm about, once the sun goes down on the other side of the hill around 4, that's when, no-see-ums, mosquitoes, not chiggers, other flying things kind of come out, but not a lot. And there's a period between 7:30 and 9 you don't go outside. But the birds are out there like nuts, just zoom, 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 just eat them up, right? And making a lot of noise and singing. And they do that in the mornings. The bugs are out there in the morning between 4:30 and 6:30. And that's what wakes me up and puts me to sleep. The birds sing. And boy, when they're out there getting the stuff, they are like really going at it. And the woodpeckers, right? So they're up on these big trees, making a lot of noise. And then I heard them making even more noise. And there was this kettle out in the woods that the guy was like on the metal to make more noise to get the girls to look at him. So anyway, it's quite an interesting show, and I really love it. And they get quiet, by 9:30, everyone's asleep. There's no light and no bugs, and so after 9:30, I go out. And I actually go out around 11, and the sky, if the moon ain't up, man, you can see, and there's no clouds. Stars are unfriggin' believable. So it's a pretty simple thing to have your life, right? You just have to be conscious where I am, right? Conscious intent I am. You're conscious, just like I was telling that young lady about meditation. All I do is I said, so breathe. So I said, no, I'm really breathe. I mean, all the way, fill your lungs as much and out. And she did, and you heard her. I said, so, what'd you get? And she goes, why? I feel really great, right? And so, why? And she's thinking, I said, because that's all you thought about. You didn't think about all that other stuff you're worrying about. And she was like, I've done this for 50 years, and I had great teachers. So it's not like you put your mind to anything, you can do anything. So how much juice we got left here? Yeah, we're getting down there. So been doing this now 48 minutes. I'm glad that Mr. Piss showed up, and James, thank you. And some more thumbs up. Hey, get people to Buddy. That was our little guy under the bridge in New Zealand, and he's still there. I still see him every so often and say hi to him. And a whole bunch and if you want to get a hold of me personally, doodlewake42 at Gmail. And, I'm not even worrying about my PayPal or anything. I don't care anymore. I mean, it was nice the first 2 years. Every month I had about $100 by you guys, and that was nice. I don't need it. I don't want to be attached to it. Just have to say to you, oh, you need to put some money in. No, I don't need it. I don't even need a lot of people watching this. I am the shamanic little pebble of the Akashic records into the pond of the World Wide Web. That's me. And that's what I've been told to do. My teacher was constantly saying, don't worry about it. You don't have to get people to believe what you say. Just tell them. So that's what I do. And I don't need to do it every day. You know, I don't have the auspices to do it every day. I got a car. Somebody gave me a car. That was very nice, but it has clearance of about that much. You know, it was built to run on a billiard table, not on my driveway. My driveway is a riverbed. So I have to go up and down that thing like in the cartoons when you see the car walking on the tires like they were feet. Anyway. Hey Madison, can you warm me up?
Yes, of course I can.
Thank you, boss. So do you live here?
I do, yes.
Do you go to school here?
I just graduated, actually.
What'd you graduate with?
I graduated with a degree in communication science and disorders.
Oh,
And then after this year, I'm taking a year off. I'm going to be going to grad school for speech therapy.
oh, so you're going down that thing. Have you ever, you know who Bernays is? He started a thing called the Tavistock Institute
Yeah?
around World War One,
Okay.
and he basically made your discipline.
Really?
And your discipline was basically made for one reason:
Why?
propaganda and advertising.
Yep.
Those two things.
Not surprised.
Controlling of people's mind.
Exactly.
So-
Controlling how they speak and the way in which they speak, the mannerisms in which how sounds come out of your mouth.
So I was, as a child, I was dumb, and meaning not stupid, but couldn't speak.
Yeah.
And so I went through school with those guys who started your discipline.
Crazy.
I'm that old.
Yeah.
And I was like about 6. And I was like an $8 million man. They like rebuilt me.
Really? Interesting.
So how I speak is I have to think about what I'm going to say. I put it in the tape reel here.
Mhm.
And when I speak to you, I'm just rolling it out.
Rolling it out of your mouth.
And that's why I'm a good scholar, because I have everything that I'm going to say.
Or you're going to
And
say it.
I've done it so much that I know what you're going to think about what I'm going to say, so I've already prepared that. So
I was about to say, it's so easy to learn about like how the process of the brain works. I think it's so interesting.
But so you have actually 3 brains. You have the cottage cheese between your ears, right?
Yeah.
And that is more like the random access memory, right? It's to your cerebral cord, right?
Yeah.
Then you have your heart, and that's like the hard drive. And the CPU is the billions of little guys in your gut. You have
Yeah.
billions
So, like
of
the microorganisms in there.
and
Yeah.
people talk about their gut instinct.
Hmm.
That's it.
That's what it is.
And so if you put those 3 together, you have what is known as consciousness.
Interesting. Okay.
Consciousness doesn't come from your mind. And that's just random access memory.
Oh yeah.
It's just because it's wired straight. Your eyeballs, your ears, your mouth, your nose.
Yeah.
Things you're sensing right this
Oh, yeah.
second.
Instantly.
So that's just your RAM. Right? But everyone puts everything into their, oh, it's my brain, my ego, everything's up. No,
No,
not there.
it's not all up there.
And people forget their heart.
Oh my gosh, I know, all the time. All the time they forget about their hearts.
Yep.
But it's just like you have like a conscience in your body.
And
Like
it's that, and that's why in
it like
Christianity,
radiates through you almost.
there's a Trinity. You are a Trinity, right? Your 3 brains. So, what's your astrological sign?
Sagittarius.
Sag.
Yes.
So that is like the interesting sign, because it's not intense. Like it's not like Capricorn's going to rule the world.
I do have a little bit of Capricorn in me.
Well, it's good. It's good to want to rule the world. At least you're part of it.
Exactly, just a little bit of
Right.
it.
And Aquarians are just, they're like a Tootsie Pop wrapped in bacon, deep fried with chocolate and sprinkles on it. It's like you have no idea what you're going to get.
No, literally.
Right. That's an Aquarian.
Oh yeah, and Aquarius, my roommate's an Aquarius, and she is an interesting girl.
Right.
I might
That's,
say.
yes, exactly. And Virgos are always right. They don't have to be right. They
But they
are.
just are.
They
of
are.
course.
And if you're a smart, I used to have a video production company. And if I wasn't going to be on set, I would put the Virgo in charge.
Right? Like, because you're just naturally right.
Right. And if I'm not going to be there, I want that person.
I might as well put a Virgo up there and
Yep,
be like,
yep.
yep, you can do it. Run this shit, baby.
And if you do that, they're so happy to be
Oh,
able
yeah.
to, you know, then they really do a good
Because
job.
then they're like, oh my God, they actually believe in me.
Right,
Look at
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Right. And then you have what other sign? Libras that are just out of control. You know, they just can't make it. I used to work in the corporate world, and I'd figure who the Libra was, and I said, "So, what do you want for lunch?" That would be it. They would be. I wouldn't have to worry about that person. They'd be like,
Exactly. What do I do? What do I do?
so your sign is that sign that has a little bit of everybody in it.
Exactly. I know. I always feel like I can like mesh everywhere. Like I can go in and I can be friends with anyone. I can talk to anyone. I feel like I'm a very easygoing person.
Right. So, did you ever watch the TV show Mad Men?
No, I didn't.
It's on. Go YouTube Mad Men.
Okay.
Right? It's all about advertising in the '60s.
Okay.
And there's a character named Don Draper, who is this guy from the wrong side of the tracks.
Yeah.
When his name was Larry, he had to go to Korea. He's there out in the middle of nowhere with this guy who's a lieutenant who went to like Harvard and Yale, and he's got money. He has no family. He knows no one. They get caught in a mortar barrage, and a lieutenant dies, and he switches dog heads. And when he comes back, he's now Don Draper.
Exactly.
That went to Harvard and Yale.
Yeah, he's like, I can be this
guy,
man.
and he does it.
Exactly.
So you need to watch that show because
Right. I'll look it up.
Mad Men.
Mad Men. Okay. Keeping it on the brain. Thank you, baby.
Okay. Thank you, baby.
Of course.
Oh. She's a sage. Yeah, she's a sage. See, I don't just talk to anybody. Let's see, how much juice do I have left? We're not quite at the red zone. What time is it? No. So I got errands to run. So I'll see you guys later. And God bless. Baba bless. Jesus bless. Everybody bless. Okay? Okay. Love you guys. Talk to you later.